Hello, my wonderful friends. It's time once more for another tale. A tale of the neckbeard variety. Or is it? It does come from the neckbeard subreddit, though, which is the reason why I, said that. Anyway, this is from Reddit user... I don't think I'm allowed to say your username within the first minute of this video, so we're going to call you Darth Pal-ick. I know what it actually is, and I'm sure the rest of you can put two and two together. Sorry, dude. YouTube has a bunch of really stupid rules. Anyway, this is my stalker, the Queen of the Night. Oh boy. Gather round, Redditors, hush, and Darth Pal will tell you a tale. A tale of a man and a monster. Our story begins in the opening days of my sophomore year of high school, that nostalgia-inducing Midwestern transition from summer to fall, where the days are sunny and warm, and the nights are cool and breezy, with brightly colored leaves falling from the trees, and dark creatures hiding in the shadows, waiting for the long nights of winter. You have an amazing way with words. I didn't know it at the time, but one such creature had marked me as their teenage prey. A couple of weeks into the year, I was at my locker, getting ready to make my way to my first period after spending the morning chatting with friends about who were planning to ask to homecoming, when I was first set upon by the Queen of the Night. We'll be calling her Vamp here, for reasons that'll soon become obvious. She was short, and a scooch heavier than chubby. Not necessarily hideous, but her clothing and makeup made her look like a bare-chinned neckbeard. She's wearing those baggy trip pants with all the straps and metal jingly bits hanging off of them that were popular in the early 2000s. Oh, I remember them well. A women's trilby hat. There's a fucking red flag if I ever saw one. A black blazer jacket with a black t-shirt covered in frills and mesh underneath it. And a silver chain with a huge fake silver inverted cross lined with fake rubies hanging off of it. Her hair was fried to hell from gallons of inky black hair dye. She wore blood-red lipstick and had way too much eyeliner. Hey, you're OP, right? I've heard a lot about you. I'm Vamp. She instantly went in for a hug that I less than graciously evaded. Nothing against her, I'm just super not into random people touching me when I was younger. I'm still that way now. Oh, yeah, nice to meet you, Vamp. Who do you know that's friends with me? Assuming that's how she heard about me. Oh, just a couple people. I won't bore you with a list. That's the first red flag. Hey, did I hear you say you did a date for homecoming, though? I mean, kind of. I've had someone I've been talking to in mind, but, I'm just gonna see if they're into it. Well, it's still about the way. If you change your mind, I'd love to go with you. Cool. Well, I'll keep that in mind. I really do need to get class, though, so I'll see you around. In hindsight, I should have nipped it in the bud then and there, but I felt like walking up to your crush was nerve-wracking enough, and I didn't want to humiliate her or make her feel bad. That weekend, I'm sitting on AIM. Oh my god, the memories.
Which was the style at the time?
Yes, indeed it was! And a mysterious account with a name that sounded like a bad horror anime messages me. I cautiously ask who it was, and it turns out to be Vamp. To this day, I'm really not sure how she got my screen name. None of my friends admitted to handing it out. I start passively talking to her while I'm playing WoW, just casual, cool, and lol, stuff like that. I thought she was a little off when we met, but nothing like super weird. But then she started to open up in the chat. So, I need to confess something to you, and I hope it doesn't change how you feel about me. I'm sure it's whatever, man. Everyone has something they're not super proud of. Well, it's not that I'm not proud of it, but some people aren't ready to know what's out there. You see, I'm a vampire. Oh, the early 2000s cringe is coming back hard, kids. Oh, it's hitting like a train. Yeah, okay, you got me. I thought you were serious about some big dark secret, but I can respect fucking with someone to cure boredom. No, you don't understand. I am serious. I'm an actual vampire. I need you to know the risks in case anything happens between us. Well, why'd you show up for picture day then, and how come you can hang out outside after school in the sun? I'll start showing up in pictures and mirrors, just Hollywood propaganda. As for the son, well, I'm not a full breed yet. Yeah, that's how it works. My master only converted me halfway because I'm so young. Once I graduate, I'm going to join his clan out in California where he'll convert me. I'm sorry, what? Oh, what a shame. It'll never work between us then. I come from a long line of vampire hunters who would kill me before they let me mingle with the bloodsuckers. I know you're trying to joke to lighten the mood, but you should be careful who you say that to. You might come across another vampire that thinks you're serious, and they'll kill your whole family just to be safe. Try not to cut yourself on that edge. We talk a bit more because I'm low-key fascinated by the delusion, and then I log off for the night. The following weeks in school, she got worse. I'd see her between every class, even if she didn't naturally need to go that way. One day, while hanging out in front of the school with some friends, I was sitting on the grass up against a tree, and she shows up with 60 miles per hour speed, plops herself down on my lap, making my legs feel like they're going to snap off. I admittedly lost my cool, gently pushing her off and yelling, she can't just grind up on people like that. She assured me that she was just playing and I needed to calm down. This kind of just playing would continue to get bolder, even though I both showed no interest and outright said I wasn't looking to date anyone. She just thought she could wear me down, I guess. One evening, my doorbell rings, and Vamp is at my door holding a piece of notebook paper with a carbon copy of the album art for the Offspring's Conspiracy of One, but with different colors. She handed me the paper, saying she drew this for me, and was just in the area. For reference, I never told her where I lived, but my house was across the street from the high school, so it's kind of unavoidable that everybody knew where I lived. Apprehensively, I take the paper, and will literally never forget the following conversation. Cool, thanks. I like the Offspring. That looks just like the CD case. What do you mean? The drawing. It's just the Conspiracy of One album, right? No, that's my design. I made it myself. Are you saying some band stole my design? I doubt they stole it. The Offspring have been around since we were, like, little kids. Well, it must just be a coincidence, I guess. I've never heard of them. She asked me if I wanted to go somewhere, but I made up some excuse about homework to get back inside. The next day at school, she came up to me and said she looked up the album art and her custom design had several key differences, like the color and some of the flames or whatever, but I swear it's most likely traced. Things only got worse from there. I heard people saying that Vamp said that I was her boyfriend, and when I confronted her, she assured me that someone just misinterpreted her saying that we were just hanging out. I gave her the benefit of the doubt, which was a mistake, because the stalking only got worse. I'd walk out of my house in the morning and find her already sitting on my porch, saying she thought I might like some company for my 20-foot walk to school. Anywhere I went, she would show up coincidentally, at any number of my usual haunts, sometimes with her other vampire friends who went by names like Chaos, Panic, Shadow, etc.
Oh, God, yeah, no, I remember when this was a thing. Oh, yeah, it's all coming back to me.
By late October, I'd had enough, and during a team project in one of our classes, she steamrolled her way into partnering with me and trying to physically snuggle up to me. I just snapped. I told her there was nothing between us, not even a friendship. She's not a vampire, she would never be a vampire, and the fact that she pretended to be one was really creepy. She started yelling at me for being small-minded and an asshole for leading her on, until the teacher pulled us both into the hallway where this altercation began. Okay, what's going on with you two? It's starting to disrupt the class. OP is mocking my lifestyle and beliefs. Now, OP, you know we don't tolerate that kind of thing at this school. What, you mean the belief that you think that you're a vampire? Okay, calm down. Vamp doesn't think she's actually a... No, I know that I am! The poor teacher stopped dead in her tracks, looked at Vamp and then at me, and then back at her. Lets loose an exhausted sigh and says in a very tired voice, just stay separated, okay? That was the last one-on-one interaction I had with Vamp, aside from the times I'd see her in the hall, and she'd stare at me as if trying to set me on fire with her eyes. Eventually, she got an equally mall-gothy vampire boyfriend, and a year later, when the school found his list, I was near the top of it for daring to insult his beloved and make a joke of their ancient ways. Oh my god. I don't think he ever would have actually done anything or go after anybody. He was just another doofy kid who made his entire persona about being dark and edgy. Ooh, boy. This one... Yeah. This one... Okay. I guess we'll start with Vamp herself. Yeah, that's just some crazy fucking stalker. That's really creepy and not okay. Like, I get it, you're into this whole vampire thing. That still doesn't make it okay. Even vampires have the basic decency to understand, you know, personal space. You know, I'm saying that as if they're real. But then again, I'm a magical unicorn, so maybe they are. Either way, this was... Oh my god. This was such a trip to read because it's such a time machine. It's more than just the story of one very strange girl who's pretending to be a vampire and literally stalking some dude. It's very much like things that I've heard this kind of story before, let's put it that way. Yes, when I was younger, I used to be the kind of punk goth kid. I spent a lot of time on the internet. I knew a lot of people online. I once, I won't name names, but I was once a technical admin for a very small site that does not exist anymore. It has been gone for quite a long time, but it was a small chat site run by a bunch of people who believed they were actually vampires. And I helped them because a couple of my friends were actually members of this site, and they didn't know enough about tech and hosting and all this kind of shit to do anything. And this was way back in the day, so I barely remember half the shit that I used to do. But I insisted that they refer to me as their weird human cousin who lived in the attic. Because it was like a very big roleplay thing. And yes, they were all very much like this. There was a lot of like, you know, obsessing over certain people. They all had incredibly dramatic romances. It was all a thing. It was very much a thing. High school is a hell of a drug, kids, and oh my god, it hit like a son of a bitch. However, the extraness that is this girl's incredible goth phase does not excuse her terrible behavior. It's one thing to like somebody, it's another thing to literally fucking stalk someone. That's not fucking okay, dude. Not okay. I will say that there is a certain... How do we put this? Because they're so young, a misinterpretation of how to handle these feelings. But I would think that at some point someone would have stepped in to say something. And the fact that the teacher just kind of brushed off all of this, well, maybe they didn't know everything, so I only have my limited gaze, I will say that. But the fact that nobody was like, bruh, this isn't being a vampire, you're just literally stalking that dude, that's fucking creepy. I will say that much. I will say that when I did know my weird goth friends, there was always moments like that, where you'd meet somebody who was way too intense about shit, and even the weird goth kids are like, you need to chill the fuck out. There's always that. And, yeah, looks like she didn't have friends who, had that come-to-realization moment with her. Which is what turned into this. But thankfully, OP didn't have to deal with that for too long, and it didn't escalate. It was creepy, it was uncomfortable, it could have been a lot worse. We'll put it that way. But, that is the end of this story. So, if you enjoyed this, you can follow me on AIM. My AIM name is dark_goth_horse _666 because I'm the edgy boy. And, you know, I have My Chemical Romance as my AIM avatar. I was wondering how long I could go on with this, remembering shit from like 30 years ago. Put that in perspective, just to really put that in perspective before we end this video. AIM, as well as games that I like to play, like Doom and Duke Nukem, are almost 30 years old. Some of them actually are. Do you feel old yet? Because I fucking do. Anyway, you can like, comment, subscribe, follow this channel, all that good stuff. I have a Ko-Fi if you'd like to support this channel so I can keep doing weird things like this and more. And I have a merch store. We're working on making new stuff and putting it in the merch store as soon as possible. It may take a little bit, but, you know, keep an eye out. I have a subreddit, r/Moonhorse Stories. You can send me your own stories there. I absolutely adore these weird dated stories, as many of you can probably tell, because it's giving me flashbacks. And, yeah, that's it for this one. So, I love you all so very much, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye, everybody.